So we're back into it. This is the heater box. This giant bloody thing here with lots of decrepit foam that's sort of not working, or maybe is. There's actually a piece that fits onto here. I don't know, some sort of a baffle? Not sure. Anyway, we'll give that a clean up, and not like all the seals are gone, so we'll have to pop across to Bunnings and get some seal. That's rusty. That dash, man. I have nightmares. I'll try not to swear too much. The various players are assembled here. That is ready to go in. This, my little wedge that goes on top and holds everything in, is ready to go. So that one you can see down there is all glued in and good to go. This one I've cut it wedge shaped so we can actually wedge it in when we get the top one in, and we'll get that back out of the way. So we can actually get it in once it's all in there, and that's got a slot in there. The one thing I did forget is, you know, these have got the corners on here, the same thing's on here, isn't it? See, there and there. So what I did is the pieces that I cut off for those corners, I just glued them on at the top, so. Mother of invention. If we put that in there, should we glue this together as well? Glue that onto there? Perhaps we should. All right, I'll mark this all up and then we'll get some glue sorted out on both of these two, which means we'll have to do a little bit of weighting. That's got to go in first. Then this goes in, and we've got to wedge it in there and glue it all in around the outside, which I better do now. And then this guy goes on and holds everything in. So as you can see, I've done all the seals around the edges of here. So that goes up there. There's also seals around the top here where this goes up against it. So everything's all that, because the foam was just all falling apart. The hardest one was that one down in there, but there's two screws, and this part here, you've got to push it in, you can twist it and get it out. So you can actually get in there and do it. And likewise, this one here, these two all run on this. Who comes up with this stuff? It's so complex. Speaking of which, what I should do is the sunny truck while I'm here, because that the seal on the vent flap on that is gone, and it rattles around a bit. So I might just do that while I'm waiting for the glue to go off. Like the glue, I'm going to get it done in 20 minutes. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll get there. Okay, so this is what we have. And how that works is the flap on the bottom, then that you pull this and it closes. Except that rattles at the moment because all of those seals are had it. And then when you go down here too, somebody in an attempt to fix these ones has put these big lumps of foam on there, so this doesn't actually close properly anymore. It's always open a bit because dumb. There's the fan up in there. There's the heater core. Basically it's just, there's two screws and two of these little clippy jobs here. It's out. There's the heater core right there. Look, heater core, President for sale, cheap, come and get it. Have a go at this one first. I think we'll just get rid of all this crusty old foam and replace it with the good stuff that we've got. Heater core's just there. It's like right there. It took, seriously, it took less than 5 minutes. I went, oh, where's the screws? It's just, oh, if you pop these things, I don't even look up the wiki. Pop these little clips out, pop the little screws out at the side. There's something to be said for having simple little cars. They're maybe not as comfortable, but there is definite benefits there. 10 minutes in. Seals are done there, but I know why. It's blowing all the time, because somebody else has fixed it. These big bits of foam And so then when you close it, it doesn't actually close. This is supposed to be up like that, but it can't because some dumb bum that one has put these in. 2 minutes and it's out. This is what they've put in there. It's supposed to be, as you can see, fairly flat, and they had these big chunks of crap on the side of it. What's happened then is they've gone to turn the heater off, and it's actually pulled the cable through the little clip on the side where it holds the cable, because they're so big. So we're going to take all this crusty old crap off this one and put some new stuff on and put it all back together again, and it will be done. Seriously, less than half an hour. Do you see the heater coil was right there? It's right there. All right, so here's what happened. So that's open now and that's closed, whereas before it was closed position was about there because of the big chunks of crap in there. But there you go, it's all closed. Now what had happened is this, there's the cable there, because of those big chunks that had actually pulled the cable through. So like, undo this little screw here, slide it back up, do it back up, fixed. This is all done. 2 screws and 2 clips. 2 screws and 2 clips, and it's all back on again, and this one's done. That's the heater core right there. That's it. Okay, seal's done in the sunny truck. Less than an hour with all the filming and everything. Everything's working as it should. There you go. Just like it was when it was brand new. Anybody want to buy a President? Nah, look, when I finish with the President, it's going to be good. It'll all be good. So it's just taking a bit of time to do that. I'm going to buy these old cars so I get to fiddle around with them. What happens is when they're all running good and you don't have to do anything, I tend to get bored with them and sell them. But okay, we're ready to put it all in. And the knee bone connects to the wristwatch. These were broken off the little bracket that came inside, and they're just soldered together. So I tried to solder them back again. I'm not the world's best solderer. In the end, I couldn't get enough heat in it with a soldering iron, so I got the heated it up and basically just flooded it with solder, and they seem to be nice and solid now. So all I figured I've got to do is cut all these lumps off. Did you know soldering wasn't my original profession? That sort of sits there like, how the hell does that go? No, it goes like that. Yeah, boom. That goes in there like that, that goes across. I just need to put everything back together and she's good to go. What we've got to do now with this one is start gluing this stuff in. So we've glued 2 together. So they're good to go. So now we need to get it all down the bottom of there and glue it in so it stays there. Doesn't everybody love the smell of glue? All right, so the heater core, we couldn't use this guy because it just sat too far up, basically. If I put this in carefully, I'll show you what I've done. All right, so that's gonna sit in there like that, and then I made up this guy that sits like that. Padding will go in underneath here. It's on the same angle and everything. So that's what we're working on at the moment. Alrighty, so she's all done. Now I just have to go and put it back in. It's back in, folks. All we're gonna do is 500 million and all that stuff back there also has to go in. Oh joy. There's only one little drama, and it's these guys here. You can see all of these little vacuum lines. They go right across the top, down in there somewhere. Turns out they're color coded. So the drama is, when I didn't know that they were color coded when I took them out because you couldn't see it. I numbered them out like 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 4 dot. You can see the color coding on this one here. So they all line up here, and there's all little one-way valves. You can see that in there, I think. They all line up there. When I got over to this side, right over the top, and this side to plug them back in, they didn't line up because the box, well, the little gizmo that they plug into is also color coded, and the colors don't line up. It's not too bad. I can actually get to them by taking the cover off underneath the steering wheel. We might leave that off until we actually try things out. If things aren't working properly, then I think we might have to I've got to drill up like that so I don't sound like double chin, you know, which I keep pointing out to you. Defeats the purpose. We'll just basically put it back together and see if it's all working. I know which colours are which down the bottom there now. I'll leave that colour off and see if it works. There's been a lot of complaining on this particular episode of Barrel Brothers, and I think it's totally justified. Alrighty, spent about 4 hours on it yesterday and got it to here, which is not so bad. It looks like I've done bugger all. There was a couple of things like this here, for instance. I had all the dash in and then realized that this particular unit needs to go in before you put the dash top on. Luckily I didn't have, I just had it sitting there so I could have to pull it back off and put it back in. The main drama was the wiring down here and up under here and through there too. If you don't put it back exactly like it was, I couldn't get it took an hour to get the fuse box in. So these big looms of wire. In the end, I took, both of these seats are loose now. I took the seat out and just laid down underneath and had a look at it and tried to figure out where, just from the curves on the they're this thick, so that they don't really want to move much. And eventually got it back in, and in the process found something interesting too. See this little gizmo here? It's the key light, and it didn't work, and I thought, oh, you know, it's somebody's. I sort of traced it and it looked like the end had been cut off, but then I had the torch under there, or the light under there, and I happened to go past the end of that cut off wiring, lo and behold, it's fibre optic. So it turns out there's a little hole in the back of the instrument cluster here where that plugs into, with a little one of the lights over this side somewhere that's on all the time, I suppose, or when you put the lights on or something. Anyway, it plugs into the back of there. So my hands were sore and fingers were sore, like wrestling with the loom yesterday. That was Sunday yesterday. It's in lockdown here at the moment. I just didn't want to sit at home and watch a TV, so I thought I'd come out and do this. I can see the end sort of inside, maybe. As you can see, there's still, like, you know, the amount of plugs and stuff here that still need to be plugged in. We'll get there in the end. I will drive this car again. President for sale, cheap. Needs some connectors reconnected. Welcome to episode 576 of putting the dash back in after we do the heater core. Put all this back in and thought, oh, I better just check that. Turned it on and the dash lights worked, but the temperature gauge and the fuel gauge didn't. So this morning it's coming back out again. FML, we're back here again. But there was a reason for that. I had a plug, it was a stray plug that was coming out of in here somewhere. And it was hanging down. I couldn't find anything on the back of the dash that it actually plugged into. So, you know, we've got sundry plugs here, as you can see. All of this stuff all plugs in to the, well, not that stuff down there, but all of this stuff here all plugs into the back of this, because of all the goddamn switches in it. I couldn't figure out where it went, and I looked and I looked and I looked. In the end, you know, I've done this a couple of times with it. Just let it hang and look like, you know, see where it actually wanted to go. So in the end, I took this back off again, which is the for the ventilation. It goes in underneath the steering wheel there, and had a bit of a look around in here, and then way up back up the top there was a plug, the other end of the plug, and I could only just see the corner of it. I sort of stuck my arm and I turned it around, and lo and behold, that's where it's supposed to go. And that's today's victory, folks. We've actually plugged that one in. Okay, so the question is, why haven't I plugged this one in? That one plugs into this one here. Now if we go to the other side, that is this here. Japanese cars, when you get them, if you go over 105 kilometers an hour, they go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And for your President owners, H252 owners, that's the ding donger. When I first got this, I drove back from Tweed Heads like 11 hours with this thing going ding dong, ding dong. That's ready to kill it with a screwdriver, I'll tell you. When I got, it's about the first thing I did, I undid the tops of the dash, reached my hand down behind, in behind here, and unplugged the bloody thing. Just finished it. So, screwdriver still hot to the touch, like, you know. This, the console, right? This will give you a bit of an idea about how these things are. While it was out, I weighed it, and it's 9.2 kilos. It makes a 9 kilo console. All right, I'm going crazy because we've done the damn thing. Let's see if it works. Here we are, after 7 months in the wilds of the dash, and we're all back together. Does it work? Yes, actually it does. Ignore that. That just means that we're normal temperature, you know, but still fiddling around with that. And ignore that because that means that I'm less than half a tank. And in the process I've zeroed this out, so we need to have a bit of a look. I'm going to go and fill it up with juice and I'm going to go for a bit of a drive. Just as an aside here, searching through these books, I found some very interesting stuff. This was a gentleman that brought them round to Alan Woody when they were up there. But here it is, folks. You're about to learn something here. How to change your muffler bearings. Okay, so here we go. See, it's like this. Then you've got to bash this bit with a hammer by the looks of things to undo it, and then we undo the whole thing. Pour out the old muffler bearings into a nice, you know, appropriate milk jug or whatever. See, there they are. And then we pour a whole lot of new muffler bearings in. As you see, till it's full right up, and then we give it a bit of a shake, and then we have to torque the cap back up and install it back in your car. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you change your muffler bearings. So now you know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.